Hey, Scott, the countdown's not running. Be careful going home, Amy. As long as somebody doesn't hit me, I'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, that's why it's so wrong. I ain't worried about my driving.
Uh-huh.
People doing 70, 80 down the highway.
Yep.
So, what's the insert of the box is different compared to this?
That's the one I already sent you.
Yes.
Yeah, you talked to me about it. Someone just even put the wrong sticker on the box or put the wrong stuff.
Scott, I don't hear any music.
How about now?
Nope.
Oh, there's no music. Do you hear my voice?
I can hear your voice. I thought there's sound with this.
No, there's no sound.
Yeah, it's sort of a.
No.
I thought there was.
That's how long it's been since you've done our show.
It's just you learn, you forget things.
Harold says, we hear you and the countdown's running.
I said that for you.
Set up and just call them, change the disposition or log out place. So,
Okay, here we go.
all right, we'll see you tomorrow. Or,
Look at my wife.
all right.
Okay, well, here we are. I was looking at one of the comments here, and somebody was saying that your microphone's a lot louder than mine. We were commenting on that before. How does it sound right now? Go ahead and say something, Kent.
You still sound soft, so I suspect mine sounds pretty loud. I don't know what's going on because you've never had microphone problems before.
Yeah, maybe that's better if I'm closer.
It might be a little bit better. So, anyway, we're in the midst of an ice storm here, or the between an ice storm last night and an ice storm tonight. So,
Yeah,
hope everybody else is staying safe and comfortable and warm around the country and the world.
right, right. You know, tomorrow is International Women and Girls in Science Day, and so that's it's a worldwide program. So we're real happy to have Terry Mann on from the Astronomical League. She's been involved in a lot of STEM and outreach programs for girls and women over the years, and so she's going to be on to talk about that on tomorrow's Daily Show. We will be broadcasting tonight the Winter Star Party Day 3 event. Let me show you what the schedule looks like here. I'm going to share my screen here for a moment. There we go. And you can see we'll be posting on this page right here. This is explorerscientific.com Winter Star Party. If you actually just type in this page, you can see it. Here, I'll put it in the chat here. Winter Star Party. And we have their schedule. We're going to put up all the videos, from day 1 to day 4. Currently, what's up there is whatever live program that we're running, which in a few minutes will be, about an hour will be the Winter Star Party Day 3. This is their promo program, but you can see this is the Day 3 schedule. And so up first will be Al Nagler, and he'll be talking about his life and his work in developing optics and some amazing eyepieces. We have Alex Mcconaughey. Alex is an old friend of mine. Some of you may know him from the Riverside Telescope Makers Conference, and he's giving a talk called Nightscapes. A lot of these are, also promos for Mickey's Brownies, which Mickey runs a food truck that's at the Winter Star Party every year, and she's also at the Peach State Stargaze. And she makes some amazing nighttime food, including those brownies, which are incredible. Then it's James Albury, The Sky Above, a talk. I haven't seen this yet. Stargazers, William or Bill DeShong, as I knew him. Bill was the producer for Jack Horkheimer's show Stargazer, and then in the subsequent Stargazers programs as well. Then we've got, there'll be some door prizes, of course, and then John Dobson will be on. This is a legacy video. If you never got a chance to see John Dobson speak, this will be a great opportunity. And then the Cincinnati Observatory Tour is on. The Cincinnati Observatory is has the distinction of being America's oldest professional observatory. And so a lot of people don't know that. The telescope that's in there, the 11-inch, is an amazing instrument and has been used for outreach for many, many, many years. And then there's the 25-year retrospective of Tipi Dioria and the Winter Star Party. So that's the basic program right there for tonight. Kent and I were talking earlier about all of the outreach efforts, the educational outreach efforts that have been going on since the pandemic struck. And what's been your take on it, Kent?
It's been very disheartening or very lonely almost. I mean, outreach is part of my social structure. And I really miss getting out with people. And
Mm-hmm.
we did do a star party in the fall at a music festival, sort of spur of the moment. And, we wiped down the eyepiece between groups of people, required masks at all times, and told the groups that came up to stay in their group units and stand 10, 15 feet apart. And everybody was happy to comply. And, none of the people that were up there, there's 5 or 6 of us telescopes, none of us came down with COVID. And the music festival did not get reported as being a super spreader event. So hopefully everything was safe. That was in September before it started getting bad again in the fall. So,
Right.
we've had long conversations about both you and me and other people, and we've done a couple of segments on how
Mm-hmm.
people are doing things. And
Yeah, like Aaron in Tucson, where he's out there in the Safeway parking lot. He worked with the city of Tucson to
mhm,
develop a program that they deemed safe, and so I hope that that's still going on. My particular, I love to do outreach too, and that's the reason why we've done all of these shows, and we've done the global star parties that we've had almost
right,
every week. So I know that seeing the Winter Star Party, for them to make the decisions too, to have a virtual event is certainly something that I think they did the responsible thing, and and it's been a great event so far. So I think that there's definitely ways to make that happen, and to include a bunch of people that otherwise couldn't be there. So even when we can do in-person, real-life events, let's say it's late this year, or starting next year, 2022. I still think that doing live casting like this allows people that couldn't because of conflict schedules, maybe get to your star party. Certainly, people who are ill or bedridden, that have an interest in astronomy, would certainly like to tune in for events that we do. And other organizations do, like the Southern Cross Astronomical Society. And then there's disabled people. There's people around the world. People in developing countries that it would be a dream come true for them to come to an event like Southern Cross or the Winter Star Party or others that happen. So it's a way of opening up the doors, and I think that. I think one of the best combinations would be have an in-person event and do social media simulcasting like this. So, but
yeah,
had the pandemic had not happened, I probably would not have devoted the time to learn how to do this kind of simulcasting.
it's forced us all to be creative.
Yes.
Rick Marshall, a member of my astronomy club, does video assisted astronomy. And previous at star parties, he would project it on a computer screen or have a projector put it on the wall of a white sheet or a white building. And people were just blown away by a 3 foot Jupiter, even though it
Hmm.
wasn't great detail. Just seeing it, knowing it was Jupiter, blew people away.
Oh, sure.
So it was
Sure.
exciting for them. But since that time, we can't get together. And so what Rick's been doing is he's been doing Facebook Lives, and
Yep.
and has had hundreds of people watch his Facebook Live stuff that wouldn't have happened if he just set up in his backyard and showed the conjunction. But people
Right.
have embraced that, and it's forced us to get creative and find solutions. And I agree. I think that every star party, major star party, will probably have some function of social media outreach
Yeah, if they have
as
the
well.
internet connection, if they can do it,
Yeah,
it's I think it just adds a great dynamic to the whole thing. Some memorable outreach events that we've done online would have also included like the Mount Wilson Observatory live tour that they did, where they actually
Mm-hmm.
They captured live images through this historic 60-inch telescope. That was cool. Um, the Night Sky Network event, where we had lecturers from the Night Sky Network all over the country. That was excellent.
Well, I was thinking in our Karstner Caverns, Arizona Dark Sky Star Party, which we're working on scheduling in the September of 2022.
Yeah.
There are segments of that we could easily
Oh,
broadcast.
absolutely, absolutely.
And it
And
would just
I
be
will
yeah,
definitely be set up for that. So,
right, right.
um, so I'm looking forward to that as well. We could not get Karstner Caverns to commit that far out yet, so that we have to wait until like November or December of this year to try to do that. Um, we do have the Northeast Astronomy Forum coming up. I'm not sure if they've made any specific announcements, but last year they did the virtual event, and so that is that may happen again. And then we were invited in September to go to Yerevan, Armenia, for the Starmus event. And still to this day, they are still scheduled to hold it in September. So that's something. If I go to a live event, that may be the first one that I go to. Still concerned about that. I would definitely want to have my vaccine, and I'm supposed to get a vaccine in April, so we'll see how that comes along. Vaccines are rolling out kind of in fits and starts, I think, across the country. So I hope all of you that are watching are signed up somewhere to get your vaccine. And I'm definitely in the camp of getting it, so versus doing a wait and see. I think that it's still, would I've liked to have, 3 or 4 years of, medical study to find out just exactly how safe it is. Yeah, I sure would. But given the, the danger of it, I think that it's probably best that I just go ahead and get it. So
Life is a balancing risks. I mean, every time you get in a
that's
car,
true.
you balance a risk
Oh
and you
yeah,
make
getting in a
decisions
car
more.
is one of the most dangerous things you can do.
Yeah.
I think it might rank up there, maybe even beyond skydiving and a bunch, diving in the ocean and all kinds of stuff. Getting in a car and driving down to the 7-Eleven or something is a dangerous proposition. So
Yes.
buckle up, everybody.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
drive carefully.
So,
Um,
and I think that the vaccines are going to be a big part of getting things back to, you can't say normal because there never will be a normal a year
no,
and a half ago.
they're recommending still wearing face
Right.
masks and stuff after the vaccine.
I saw a story just a few minutes ago that there's almost no flu in the United States
Wow.
because
Everybody
everybody's
wore face
isolated
masks?
and wearing face masks and washing their hands and taking precautions. And the flu map is all green. There's no red anywhere on the United States flu map,
Good Lord. Huh.
which, it goes to show that this stuff works,
Right?
although one variant, one sample of 4 months is not a good study.
No.
Generally, February is the heart of flu season in the United States, and the map is red everywhere. There's not a red county in the country.
Yeah.
So it shows that what we're doing is working, in an obvious way. So anyway,
Let me read some of the comments that we have in this chat today. It's interesting. People giving us nice greetings from, all over the internet. That's great. But there is a couple of comments that are very interesting here.
Yeah.
okay, while you're looking them up, Bergman Scooter is running is flouting his South Louisiana weather. It's 75 and in Grand Isle.
Oh yeah,
So,
well, it's about the same in the Florida Keys right now too.
Yeah.
Gary Burrell says, just received my Explore Scientific 127 Mac and Nano mount, and I can't wait to try it out with the Explore Scientific Observatory tent when it arrives. Love all your live videos too. Those tents should be here very soon, I would think. So,
We're thinking a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 or
Okay.
3 weeks. Yep. They're on the water.
Great. Yeah, these live stream, Cameron says these live streams are an excellent outreach medium. These are great. Scott and Kent. Thank you. And Christy White is saying that she just got her second dose yesterday and slept so good last night knowing I had it. That's good. She's talking about the vaccine. David Simard, I have been in astronomy since 1975, and this pandemic was a big change in my point of view because of Explore Scientific outreach. So thank you very much. Thank you. I think it's one of the most important things that we have done in working with the community that supports us. So we thank you very much, and we're going to keep doing these things. It's a great way to connect and and for us to interact with our Explore Alliance program and all of that. So that's starting to mature as well, which is great. Well, Michael Whitaker wants to know if there's a 12-inch Dob in stock. What do you think?
I can't look it up. Our program's down. Hang on. I might be able to answer that question. Absolutely. I think I know the answer, but I've answered it enough and been wrong. I don't want to go by memory.
Right.
So we'll look it up and see. A 12-inch, I think the answer is yes. We'll see what my inventory on hand report shows that I send out to the dealers every day. Yes, we got a couple. If you want one, I would say immediately go to the website.
Place the order right away.
Literally place it now while the show's going on.
Yeah.
Because it's to the point that if you wait, you'll lose.
They'll be gone. Yeah. This stuff is selling still very aggressively. So.
Correct. Yeah, it's not Christmas level aggressive, crazy, but I'm still taking 10 to 15 orders a day from dealers, and which is unheard of for February. Previous years.
Yeah, usually February is a very slow time in our industry. Not this year. So
Scott, we're talking, and that brings me to the point that I've said before, and the regulars will remember this, but the new people, I want to hear it. I want them to hear it. There are literally millions of people out there with telescope, hundreds of thousands or millions of new people who have bought a telescope for the first time.
Yeah.
And as people with even a little bit of experience, that's more experience than they have. We need to seek them out. Each of you needs to seek out somebody in your community, whether it's on Facebook or your next door neighbor, whoever, and help them stay in this hobby. I want to see,
just
people
mentoring
use them. Mentoring.
Yeah. I mean, all of us have our little telescopes that we had when we were a kid. And what took us to the next level was having somebody mentor us to show us how to find, a galaxy, how to find Orion for the first time, how to polar align, how to adjust the finder scope, how not to race past focus, with your eyepiece, or to use too much magnification, how to preserve your night vision at night, so that you can see faint objects. And then learning, eventually learning star party etiquette, getting involved with the club, joining in with the community. And now with kind of this new scenario of how we do interact, how to interact online and to share those experiences.
Yeah, and it's vital we do that. The more people we get in this hobby, the more people we can educate in a very practical, personal way about light pollution. And the more people who have deep feelings about light pollution become dark sky warriors who can talk to their city councils and their state and national representatives about, there's national building codes, plumbing codes, fire codes, housing codes. There can easily be a national lighting code that will not solve the problem in my lifetime. And it probably will not solve the problem in my children's lifetime, it's taken us 150 years to get here. It may take 100 years to get it under control, but I think it's a vital thing that we need to try and preserve and attack for the future. This is not about me and my dark skies. This is about my great grandkids' dark skies.
Yeah. And not only us as humans, but our whole environment that we live in, animals, plants, need to have, of all kinds, need to have dark,
I say fireflies. If you like fireflies, one, don't use poisons in your yard. I hate the commercials I hear on the radio that say, kills more than 100 kinds of bugs in your yard. And I actually yell at the radio.
Yeah, and
do you like birds?
Depends upon those bugs.
do you like birds? Do you like fireflies? If birds don't have the bugs to eat and fireflies get killed.
It's a domino effect. We keep wiping out more and more of them. Yeah. Eventually it gets to us, okay?
Yeah, that's right. It eventually gets to us.
We do eat plants and animals to survive, so, we need them.
So I think we've drifted from outreach inadvertently.
We have.
I am prone to cause that to happen because I go off on tangents.
You got on your light pollution soapbox, but that's okay because that's important, and making people aware of dark skies is an important aspect of outreach because that's our environment. We need to have dark skies to explore the skies and all of that. So
so let's talk about somebody who's had their first telescope. I have seen this happen at star parties where somebody asks about a telescope, what telescope should I buy? Or I have this telescope, and people immediately discount it. People like you and me who are very experienced immediately discount it. And I see this happen over and over again by people who call customer service. They've been told by this very experienced astrophotographer that you have to have a G11 and a 165 telescope and this kind of auto guider and this kind of computer and all that. And I'm thinking, that guy didn't start out with that big piece of equipment. He started out with a smaller telescope and he worked up. And
think of what Galileo started out with. He changed the world with what he had.
Right. So
and that little telescope back there is better than Galileo's. So,
and Galileo didn't have a tripod. He had to hand hold that thing for a while until he figured out, I gotta have something to prop this thing up on.
Prop it up on
something,
right?
Exactly.
Very difficult telescope to use. I've used an exact replica of Galileo's telescope, and the field of view was so narrow. It's very difficult to get it sighted. And I don't think there was a finder scope on it, but
well, on the Galileo scope that we sell, the Galilean eyepiece has a field of view of 1/2 degree, and it's tiny, and it's hard to use.
Galileo's was much smaller than that.
Yeah, the one on that's what I'm saying is it had to have been 1/4, 1/8 of a degree. It would have been tough to use, very tough. But you stick with it and be inquisitive. So if somebody has a telescope that is not the best in the world, teach them how to use it and let them learn how to use it and help them then go buy up to the next level. And then when they reach that level and mature in their ability, move up to the next level. That's how we all did it. I started out with what our friend Ed Gunther calls the Mark I eyeball.
What a Mark I eyeball? What's that?
Most people have 2 of them.
Oh, okay.
The Mark I eyeball, right? The original astronomical device.
Yes, that's true.
And he loves just going out and viewing. He talks about the Mark I eyeball. So I was literally that and a little bit of astrophotography until met Paul and Kathy Anderson, and when they were starting Sugar Creek Astronomical Society, and ended up they became. I was like, okay, yeah, I can do this. I had the money, the time, and bought one of their 8-inch Celestrons, and have that scope to this day, and love it, and take it to star parties and use it. But it didn't start out as it was a lifetime before. It was only 20 years ago. I was what, 12 then, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
something like that. 11, 12, 20 years ago, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. And so, you start out with what you have. And I gain pleasure by just going out like at the Buffalo River and the sun goes down and just look up at the dark sky.
It's beautiful.
Bortle 2 skies, Bortle 1.5 skies. Just look up and just drink it in and just revel in how beautiful it is.
It's good for you.
It is good for my soul. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and being in a place like some of these wild areas too, there's I've been studying some of the aspects or the wellness aspects of being in nature, and this is something a lot of amateur astronomers do get to do. Okay, they will travel to national parks or to forested areas where they're out breathing fresh air. It's not only the fresh air, but there are chemical compounds that are exuded by plants and trees and stuff like that are beneficial. And in Japan, apparently they have known this for a long time, and they do something called I think it's called bathing in the forest, and they go into these lush forests in Japan and just breathe in the air and stuff. And apparently there are there are many different compounds that have health benefits to it. To me, it has a psychological benefit as well. It just makes me feel more grounded, makes me feel, especially if I'm there long enough, it reconnects me, But looking up at the Milky Way reconnects me too.
One of my favorite things to do when I was a kid was go out and listen to it snow. And people look at you and go, listen to it snow. And it's like, yeah, go find a tree that hadn't dropped its leaves yet out in the woods. Sit down up against the stump, the trunk of that tree, and just listen to it snow. And I would sit there for a couple hours and just listen to it snow. A magnificent sound. You get peace centered. You sit there. There's nothing going on except just snow. And looking over, somebody asked, "Do you like chiggers?" No, I don't like chiggers, but I like the stars more than I dislike chiggers, and so I go look at the stars. Even when there's chiggers, but there's a lot of joy from just sitting still in nature. Absolutely.
Yes.
And people can't connect to it. They don't have access to the forest a lot of times.
That's right.
Oh,
right.
Scott's getting a phone call.
I am getting a call. In fact,
Apollo,
that's one of the guys from the Winter Star Party. I'll have to call him right back.
Apollo 11 launch sequence.
Yeah, we're having a question about what's the latest status on the Explore Scientific supply chain. Well, today is the first day of Chinese New Year, okay, and they are off. In fact, all the factories in China, from not just telescope factories, but all factories pretty much are closed for a couple of weeks. So we will get more updates after they come back from Chinese New Year. If the product is in fact coming from China, which most of our stuff is, we did not get any better updates than what we already had before Chinese New Year started. I know that there's going to be a massive effort by all the telescope manufacturers, all of us, name the brand that get parts from China. There is going to be a massive effort to try to push those forward and stuff. I know that factories within our entire industry are going to be working overtime, canceling off weekends, running double, triple shifts. So that's part of it.
We've had back orders now for over a year. And, people waiting on replacement things.
We sold 18 months of inventory in a matter of weeks.
4.5 months, 5 months.
Yeah, it was absolutely something. We talk about these unprecedented times, and usually, that's the news talking about the pandemic and the way it is affecting us. What it did, though, is it drove sales for anything that was related to outdoors. Hey, Russ, how you doing?
Yeah, so So it's really not a very pretty situation right now. And we want to get our products as quickly as possible. I hate telling people we don't really know, and we're working on that.
Right.
And we're trying to get that up and going. But yeah, it's a tough situation right now.
It
And
is.
people think this is a big, huge industry. We're niche market. What, $350 million estimate total global sales annually, except for last year, which is going to be much higher probably.
Sure.
But we end up being every telescope other than mass market telescope is not mass produced. Each one is an individual thing built by a person.
Toy telescopes, even little telescopes like that, are made by hand.
By a person.
There's no machines doing it. There's no, the assembly lines are still small. It's not. They're not made like cars. They're not made like coffee pots or anything else like this. These are scientific instruments, and they're all individually handmade. So.
And they're made to order. There's no warehouse sitting there with
well, they
500
just build up a bunch of them and
ED80s.
hope they sell. No,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we want some. We order them, and then we get them 9 months later or whatever
Right.
it is.
That's right. So, anyways, Russ Brick has joined us here on our show. Russ, how are you, man?
Hi, Scott. I'm sorry. I just got home from work.
That's all right. Russ is the president. If you don't already know, he's the president of the Southern Cross Astronomical Society. And these guys have been putting on an amazing effort for Winter Star Party. And all of them have, that watch the day one and day two are, really love what you guys have done. The topic of our show today was educational outreach, astronomy outreach. I know you're big into that yourself, Russ. And what has been your take on this year? I mean, you've been very disappointed. Are you happy that you've been able to do some outreach?
Actually, we've been extremely disappointed because we have a partnership with the Miami-Dade County Parks that has been running for 35 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's every Saturday night at Bill Sadowski Park here in South Miami. And we just haven't been able to do anything since last January. It's really horrible. We can't even have people out at our observatory. Our members, they only come out one or two at a time. They social distance. It's been horrible, really, for outreach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, astronomy, the product market has gone kaboom.
Yes, it has.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But
and how about membership in the Southern Cross Astronomical Society?
Well,
are you
our
getting
membership has grown over the last couple of months. Hopefully, we're moving away from a trend that we were experiencing over the last couple of years. It was kind of like we would get people who join and none of them owned a telescope.
Mm-hmm.
They would come out once, maybe twice, and we would never see them again. It was just cool to be member of Astronomy Club for a year and they wouldn't rejoin. But we're starting to get some more people now who have an interest in the hobby or have been interested in the hobby for a long time and want a facility to use that's darker than the horrible light polluted skies of everywhere in Miami.
Right. Well, there's some big benefits in joining a club, and one of them is going to a dark sky place that is relatively safe to go to. If you're out there with a group of people, let's say the battery on your car dies, or there's just a zillion things that can go wrong when you're making a trip. And if you're out alone and you've traveled out to someplace remote, I think it's ill-advised. I think it's like scuba diving alone. Okay, I think that's ill-advised too. I think you need a dive buddy to go with so that, if you need help, you've got it. And better to go diving with a group of people. It's more fun. It's more social.
Observing has always been more fun with somebody to show the things that you're hunting for. or for them to make suggestions for new objects for you to see that maybe you haven't seen before.
Right. Someone's commenting here, Clayton Lindsay, he says their club went from 500 to 600 in 2020. So that's a pretty significant growth. We're also hearing about growth from the Astronomical League, and the interest in astronomy in a serious way is also exploding, with new subscriptions to Astronomy Magazine, Sky and Telescope Magazine, and so it's, I think we're seeing a renaissance of interest, and, I'm glad to see it.
I think that since the world has been turned down so much, that people actually are able to walk outside and see the sky and be intrigued, even in the city.
Yes.
I'm sure that the difference between 1 million cars on the road and 10,000 cars on the road must play some kind of effect on the skies, even in the city.
Well,
Yes.
I think it's caused people. Hi, Russ, Kent Marts. Nice to meet
Again,
you.
nice to meet you.
I have friends, and I've had this discussion with friends. They have rediscovered leisure time. They have discovered that every minute of every day doesn't have to be filled. They've learned that it's not all about getting a kid from soccer to baseball to softball to forensics and then do homework. That's all over with. And I think lots of people are going to continue to embrace that lifestyle of not so much, because they like that breathing space it's given them. Before you got on, Scott and I were talking about the joy of just going out in the woods and having the ability to just breathe. I think that gives people freedom. That time gets filled with astronomy and with riding bikes and doing things differently than they did a year and a half ago.
Oh yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Definitely. Personally, I've always been good at finding time for my own space, but I know a lot of people, and I mean, even my wife. My wife is an extremely driven woman, and sometimes it's difficult for her to sit and relax. But I think you're exactly right, Kent. I think a vast majority of people have discovered that, hey, you know what? The world's out there. We should sit down and enjoy it for a change instead of rushing through it.
And things didn't fall to pieces.
Right.
Go to the bad place in a handbasket. It's all good, and there's a lot good stuff going on. So, and it's caused my wife and I to reevaluate things, and find things to do for ourselves, and not just always be going, but be going in a different way, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. So, what kind of condition is the Girl Scout camp in, Russ, right now?
Actually, it's really nice.
Is it?
It's not, it doesn't really look anything like it did if you were there 5 years ago before the hurricane. A tremendous amount of the berm was eaten away.
The berm between the road and the campground.
Yes.
With that brush wall that made it really dark all the way. That's gone.
Yeah, there's no more real incline to the berm. It's almost,
Okay.
I mean, it does slope down very gently, but it's pretty flat. And a lot of rock was deposited in with the sand. So, for a while there, most of the campsites were pretty much rock free because people had been coming there for 10, 12, 20 years, pitching their tents in the same place, pulling the rocks out.
Yeah.
Or, how it is when you pitch a tent. You always try to clear out some of the rocks. So the ground was actually pretty supple there, but now it's all different again.
And I guess I was there probably 5 years around the turn of the century, 98, 99, 2000, 1, 2, that neck of the woods. The chickees are gone.
Oh yeah.
The buildings have been totally.
There's new buildings though, right? There's new.
No, there's nothing new on Girl Scout camp. Now
Okay.
the Boy Scouts, they have erected these things that they call Glam Tents.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
it's
I
a
saw picture of.
freestanding structure. It's actually sturdy wall. I'm not even sure why they call them tents, but they're pretty nice. They have electric. They're air conditioned.
Oh,
There's
Air
one giant
conditioned.
room and a small sleeping quarters. Yeah, they have a
That's
standalone
nice.
air conditioned unit.
Yeah.
Scott, we saw pictures of that. We were looking at stuff last week, and there
Yeah.
were bunk beds in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's okay. We
how
saw
many
those.
are there on the Boy Scout camp now of these?
Well, there are 6 Glam Tents now,
Okay.
and they're all facing to the west, on the
Okay.
west side. Because you got to remember, the Keys they meander through to the west.
Right,
It's not
they're an
south
east-west.
anymore. It's more to the west.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all facing the west side of the camp. They had plans for 11 originally, but I don't think they're going to get to 11, to be honest with you, because they already laid all their electric, and there were only 2 more hookups that I saw. So I
see.
think there's going to be a total of 8, but who knows? Maybe they'll dig some more trenches and lay some more cable. I don't know.
Right.
But they're pretty cool. We
Yeah.
actually were renting them out this year for the Star Party.
I see. And what was the? Do you recall the cost of the
Yeah.
rental
For the Glam Tent, it was $300 per person for the week.
for the week? Okay.
Yeah.
So per night?
Yeah.
Ooh,
if you've
that's
ever
a nice-
gone to the Florida Keys and rented a hotel room, okay, hotel rooms are very expensive in the Keys, and especially during the height of the season, about the time that the Winter Star Party happens. So it wouldn't be unusual to spend $150 a night, $200, or
In
even
Key
more.
West, at that time of year, you're spending $400 a night for a hotel room,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
on
yeah.
Duval Street. $500 a night.
Ooh,
Well, and I will throw this out
300
there.
for a whole week is a deal. That is a deal.
If you've never been
Absolutely.
to if you've never been to the Florida Keys before,
Yeah.
the one thing that is more important than anything else is do not speed, because they enjoy writing speeding tickets
Oh, they love
a
it.
whole lot.
They need that revenue down there, right?
Do not speed at all.
Yeah,
Right.
there's no such thing as a break in Monroe County.
No.
If they
Yeah,
pull you, they're going to write you.
So the last time I went, we were going through Marathon, I think, and stopped there's a school crossing, and stopped and, took off, and I was following I was in the front and, kept going. There was a car in front of me, and a policeman pulled in the person. We were traveling in a group, 2 of us, pulled them over. So I went a half a mile down and just pulled over so we could travel together. And the guy got done writing them a ticket, and he walked up and wrote me a ticket. Walked a half a mile instead of driving, and walked over and wrote me a ticket too. And it was for 7 over, something
Yeah.
like that. And it's like, no, you can't see the video. If you want to see it, you have to come back in 3 months to go to court.
Yeah, go to
Yeah,
court.
okay, I'll pay the $100 fine and get on down the road. Yeah.
It's
Gary
the points
Palmer
on your
makes
license that's the problem. But when I could drive through Marathon, I usually stick to like 5 miles above or right at the speed limit. But even worse, the little road that goes between Scout Key and
Okay.
Big Pine,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's the road you cannot speed. They
Oh,
will
yeah.
write you at 42 miles an hour there. And the speed
In a
limit
40
is
zone.
40.
In
Yeah.
a 40.
And
Yeah.
the speed limit is 40. Yeah.
Yeah, right. What'd you get, Scott? You said Gary Palmer.
Gary Palmer was mentioning the how good of a deal the staying in the Glam Tent at $300 a week. He says a similar type of thing in the UK would cost you $1,000 a week. So, if you live in the UK, you might want to catch that plane ride down to Miami and drive down and be at the
Oh yeah, it's
22
listen.
Winter Star Party.
If you come in, you come in Monday morning, you don't have to leave really until Sunday morning is the last person that has to be out. We like to have as many people gone by Saturday night as possible, but
Yeah.
Sunday morning is the last time you can stay. And let me tell you something. For the cost of a ticket and camping for like one person, it's $300. That's it.
That's
Yeah.
a super deal.
your room, and you have a place to stay on the Keys for 8 days
Yeah, in a
with free parking too.
beautiful place on the Keys, you know.
Yeah.
Free parking
And the
And free
ocean,
parking too.
and the ocean.
and the
And the
ocean,
ocean.
the ocean slash Caribbean. I guess it's a little bit of both right there.
Mhm.
Is depending on where your tent is, 40 feet away, 50 feet away from your tent, and
Oh, even
it's an
less.
awesome.
Even less. And Winter Star Party is protected. The place is protected. They have a police officer at the gate.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, we
and
have
so
24-hour
it's
security.
Very secure. You know, there are people. I mean, literally, you walk around and you see many, many, many tens of thousands of dollars worth of gear.
Oh, millions of
that's
dollars
out there. You know,
Yeah.
laying out, and I have not heard of any theft experience at Winter Star Party. You know, so not that it couldn't happen, but it's a.
I know
it
some
is a
people
very
who are
safe-
in. I know some people who are in other big hobbies, and
Yeah.
astronomy. I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's the intellectual side. I don't know what it is, but I find that people are just amazingly genuine and amazingly honest. I mean,
Right.
they're just honest, good people.
Right.
And
I remember when I was down there, the biggest crime that was committed was there was a fireworks. Somebody was setting off fireworks and had done it for the last 3 or 4 years on like the final night or next to final night, and they were trying to catch them, and they had guards out, and about 4 o'clock in the morning, here goes some fireworks, and somehow they had rigged up some fireworks with a timer that went off, and
oh, geez.
that was. And I suspect that person's probably gone now or not coming anymore, but that was the biggest crime that was going on, and they were just trying to catch and had been trying to catch that person for a couple of years, was
Right.
the talk. So
Let's talk. We got just a few minutes before we have to sign off here because we have to get ready for the
The
pre-show
Winter Star Party.
Yeah, for the Winter Star Party. This is day 3. We're going to have Al Nagler. John Dobson's going to be on. We're going to have Alex
This is
McConaughey.
going to be a good night.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Lots of door prizes from people who registered prior. Okay, the registration was cut off, but that doesn't mean that you can't watch a Star Party. And then there's going to be a 25-year retrospective of Winter Star Party with. Is Tippy speaking in this particular segment?
Well, there's a Tippy Dioria WSP 25-year retrospective.
Yeah. What is that?
So
gonna be?
yeah, I believe he's going to be speaking.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So,
Just looking over the. Yep, that's it.
So
But
yesterday.
there's a lot of good content tonight.
Yeah, there is. Yesterday, Tippy's wife was watching. Barbara Harris, who's was part of Tippy's circle of close friends. She was watching the program. I think you had a lot of.
Well,
people.
I know that Barbara's keeping the streak alive because she ordered some T-shirts.
Oh, that's good.
Yep,
That's good.
Well,
So,
Russ-
Charlie too.
yeah, right. That's
Russ,
right.
you're to be commended for putting together this kind of presentation over this kind of time.
Yeah.
I cannot
awesome.
imagine. I've done, I was the president of the Mid-States Regional. I couldn't have pulled it off without a bunch of help. I can't
Oh,
imagine
trust me.
what this has been like for you guys, for the past 6 months, really, or more, to really be structuring this and pulling this together. You've done a great job.
Well, thank you very much, and that's very nice of you to say. But trust me when I tell you, I didn't do very much. I
Hey.
mean, I do a lot of behind-the-scenes things with the vendors, but all of the videography and all of the manipulation and the distribution, that's all Sergio from our club and
Yeah.
Scott.
Well, I'm just
And
as
our
I told you
contributors.
guys, I'm just plugging it together, and we did our best to help promote the program. But the Winter Star Party is a world famous star party. You don't really have to do much to wave that flag. But I do think that there's a lot of people that had never attended Winter Star Party that are watching it and will watch this program as the months go on, and we certainly encourage everybody that ever thought about going to Winter Star Party to finally get down there and do it. Because
Yeah. The only thing that all our advertisements, they just can't convey what it feels like to be there.
Well,
I mean,
the,
it's just,
the
I wake
farther,
up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and step outside and look to the heavens in my telescope, and it's just so serene and clear and calm
warm.
as I said,
warm.
the farther north you live, the better the Winter Star Party is.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
true.
Yes.
That's true. We're right now, I mean, tonight and maybe in about an hour, we're going to experience an ice storm here in Arkansas. So I know that the temperature in the Florida Keys right now is in the 70s. And so.
Yeah, there was one Winter Star Party we drove home. We almost stopped in central Arkansas, and we pushed through, and we barely made it home because it started snowing in Memphis, and man, it was coming down. And we just kept and made it home, but just barely. So anyway, great memories.
I've been going for 15 years now.
Awesome. And
I love this Winter
you'll be
Star
going for
Party.
many,
I
many
take
more.
my vacation every year to go to the Winter Star Party.
And it is a vacation. I mean, aside from, something for the whole family to go down there and do, because
It sure is.
the Florida Keys has a lot of activities for people that like to go birding. They have incredible birds, nature observing, diving, snorkeling, boating, fishing. And then you got Key West with all those nighttime activities.
Right,
down there.
exactly.
Marathons also have got great restaurants and stuff. So it's just a beautiful strip of land going down that way. So
I took my early teenage kids out before they got into high school, when they're in junior high. I took them out of school, and we had to leave on a Friday morning, and they didn't get back till Tuesday. And I made them navigate down and plan the stops and the whole bit. They learned more doing that than they would in school, and all the teachers, except for one in those years, really supported it.
yeah,
The one who didn't support it gave my son algebra homework for the rest of the year, and thought it was funny when we turned it all in. That was miserable. But take your kids down there. It's February. Take them out of school. They'll learn from it.
absolutely.
It's worth doing a
It'll be
family
something
vacation.
they'll never forget.
Absolutely.
They might forget that
Right down, honey.
that classroom experience, but they're not going to forget this.
That's exactly right.
So it's time for us to wrap up. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, Russ, before I?
No, I'm good, except for my wife's calling me to go to dinner. So
Okay, we'll have dinner. We will, for the pre-show, which comes up in 30 minutes, we will have David Levy on, and as he always does, he gives a nice poetic touch to starting any of these Star Party events that we do. So, but again, I thank you very much, Russ. You and the team have done great. And it has been an honor for Explore Scientific and the Explore Alliance to partner up with you guys. So take care. And
all right, you too, guys.
Yeah,
It's very nice talking to you. Nice meeting you.
we'll
Meet
see
you
in
next
a few
year, I
minutes. Take
Tell-
care.
Yes, I hope so. Come to the Winter Star Party, please.
Tell Scott he needs an assistant.
Well, that would have to be me. Come
Oh,
on.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I got local knowledge.
There you go.
All
right, guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kent Marts with Explore Scientific. Today we're going to talk about the Explore Scientific Trade-In, Trade-Up program and the Certified Pre-Owned program. For the Trade-In, Trade-Up program, all you have to do is decide you want to buy something from Explore Scientific and you own an Explore Scientific product. Contact customer service, we'll bring the product in, make an offer on it, you accept the offer, that amount of money applies for a credit to purchase anything in our catalog. So those telescopes we receive in go into our certified pre-owned program. We will run those through quality control
and then offer those for sale on our website. They will come with a full mechanical and optical warranty. They won't come with a cosmetic warranty because there may be scratches or use marks. It's a great deal. It's a great way to get a good telescope at a reduced price. You just have to watch the website because that inventory changes on a regular basis. Things that go up on the website on the CPO program sell very quickly.
The Southern Cross Astronomical Society of Miami, Florida is proud to present the 2021 Winter Star Party Virtual Edition, February 8th through the 11th. Because of COVID, we will not be able to get together in person this year, but we won't let that stop us from getting together online with old friends and make some new ones. There will be all new presentations about double stars, astroarchaeology, Mars exploration, and more. Enjoy classic videos from past winter star parties by Tippy Dioria, Dr. Mike Reynolds, John Dobson, and more. Then join us February 8th through the 11th from 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.explorescientific.com/Winter Star Party. Mark your calendar. See you there.